Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Police detain person of interest in murder of St. Elizabeth teacher. The police have now detained a person of interest in the murder of 28-year-old Sandy Bank St. Elizabeth teacher Chanel Smith. The police say Damian Robinson, otherwise called Damian Miles or Starboy Miles, was taken into custody late Tuesday. It is understood that he was taken to the police by Mandeville Mayor Donovan Mitchell. Smith, who is a teacher at the Sandy Bank Infant School, was attacked near the gate to the institution as she made her way to class on Tuesday morning. The police report that about 7:40 a.m., Smith, who resided in the Sandy Bank area, was walking towards school when she was approached by two men. One pulled a handgun and opened fire, hitting her multiple times. The men then escaped. The men had apparently been awaiting the teacher while they pretended to be repairing their broken motorcycle. Children traumatized by teacher's murder. Children were among those left traumatized after witnessing the brazen murder of 28-year-old teacher Chanel Smith at the entrance of the Sandy Bank Infant School in the parish. One of the students was really traumatized because her teacher ran out and went away in the bush with Miss Smith that took her to the hospital, Principal Erna Blackney reported. She said students were on the school compound when the shooting happened. It was very early. We had children that witnessed it, but I'm not sure they realized what was happening because they are young. They maybe didn't know, said Blackney. Last evening, the police named Damian Robinson, otherwise called Damian Miles or Starboy Miles, as a person of interest in relation to the murder. Smith was described as a quiet person in her community, was gunned down as she walked from home to the school. Sources say shortly after 8 a.m., two men awaited Smith as she approached the school's entrance. One of the men shot her, then jumped onto a motorcycle being driven by the other man and fled the scene. A guy that was fixing a bike just came up and shot her. He jumped on the bike and the bike rode off. He was the pillion on the bike, an alleged eyewitness reported. Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth Southwestern Floyd Green and Education Minister Favour Williams are among those who have condemned the murder. The Treasure Beach community is not known for incidents like this because it is a quiet and peaceful community and we want to keep it that way. I am encouraging people who have information to share it. We will want to capture these criminals. I hope that the full extent of the law will be brought to bear upon them, stated Mr. Green. Blackney said Smith started teaching at the school in 2018. She said the community is in shock following the incident. We have never experienced that before. I have never heard it happen here before, so because of that, the entire community is traumatized, she said. A relative who asked not to be named reported that she last saw Smith walking to work on the morning. She was quiet, jovial, loving, and caring. This was completely unexpected. I don't know why somebody would want to kill her. Chanel is always going from work to home and to church. She doesn't really go anywhere else, said the relative. Indicom completes Nsinga King trimming probe, awaiting DPP ruling. The Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom is reporting that it has completed its probe into the trimming of a Rastafarian woman allegedly by a policewoman at the Four Pass police station in Clarendon. Indicom says an investigative file and commission's report were submitted to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, ODPP, on November 11, and that it is now awaiting a ruling. During the assessment, the ODPP may rule for criminal charges, disciplinary action, or no criminal charges against the concerned officers. Any ruling of the ODPP will not affect the complainant's ability to pursue her civil remedies. The alleged haircut purportedly done because Nsinga King 19 was deemed a suicidal risk occurred at the Four Pass police station on July 22nd. King's story sparked national outrage. She told reporters that she was left traumatized by the incident. King further explained that the haircut by the policewoman resurrected memories of her being gang raped when she was 16. St. James family left homeless following massive fire. A St. James family has been left homeless after a massive fire destroyed their home on Bird Lane in Paradise Crescent. Firefighters say the blaze started about 11 a.m. Units from the Freeport and the Iron Shore fire stations along with 13 firefighters tackled the fire. The blaze was subsequently brought under control, with cooling down operations ongoing. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. 26-year-old Sherry James says her family of 4 was unable to save anything from their 6-bedroom dwelling. James says the family has been left devastated and is appealing to the public for assistance. Police in St. Thomas probing separate cases of murder, rape. A man was shot and killed in 11 Miles Bull Bay, St. Thomas. The police say the shooting happened about 5 a.m. in a section of the community known as Ball Ground. The victim has been identified by his alias Chop Chop. The police say several spent casings from a M16 rifle and a 9mm pistol were found at the scene, which is still being processed. A motive is yet to be established for the killing. Meanwhile, earlier the same morning, police investigators were called to 11 Miles in relation to an attack on a woman in her house. It is reported that the woman returned home from a wake in the community and went to bed. It is further reported that she was awoken by a man who was standing over her. According to reports from the police, the woman knew the intruder by face but not his name. He reportedly proceeded to choke the woman, which caused her to become disoriented. The intruder reportedly then had sex with the woman against her will and then fled. The police say the door of the woman's house was damaged. The attack happened sometime after 1 o'clock Wednesday morning. The police say investigators are seeking to determine if both incidents, which happened hours apart in 11 Miles Bull Bay, are connected. Residents of Flanker St. James get garbage drums. The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, on Tuesday distributed 20 garbage drums in the communities of Flanker and Providence Heights in St. James. They were donated under the entity Drum at the Gate Initiative, which aims to encourage proper waste disposal at the community level through the containerization of garbage. Jermaine Jones, acting regional operator, manager at the Western Park and Markets WPM Waste Management, handed over the bins to residents. He encouraged them to use the containers for what they are intended and to refrain from illegal dumping. We are now taking the opportunity to present drums to the community, which they can put at their gates and ensure that waste is properly bagged and stored until the truck come and take it up, Jones said. Also, what I am going to ask the community to do is to ensure that at all times you protect these drums, because while they containerize the waste, we have to protect them as well, he said. Jones indicated that it is critical that residents keep their environment and community clean of solid wastes. He pointed out that the Drum at the Gate initiative is an ongoing program, noting that more drums will be distributed to other communities throughout Western Jamaica as soon as they are made available. So, we are using the opportunity to forge a partnership with the community, and we are looking forward, as soon as we have more drums, to create another opportunity to give some to other communities and ensure that we maintain some clean spaces for a clean Jamaica, Jones said. Flanker resident Catherine Cunningham told reporters that she is excited to receive a garbage drum of her own under the initiative, as previously she had to dispose of her garbage in a box. Another resident, Shirley Robinson, pointed out that the WPM did good by bringing the initiative to Flanker, as persons were in need of containers to properly dispose of their garbage. It is a good idea. It will make a lot of difference, she noted. Early childhood practitioners pay up for consideration. Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Robert Nesta Morgan, says the government is exploring how it can improve the salaries of early childhood practitioners. Addressing the handover ceremony of the Bethlehem Moravian College Early Childhood Center of Excellence in Malvern St. Elizabeth on Monday, Morgan said the government is also seriously considering how we can make more infant schools that are fully funded by the government, where teachers are now a part of the Ministry of Education salary scale paid for by the government. He said the government recognizes the importance of the early childhood sector as a foundation for growth within the society. He added that in this situation, it means that the government must play a more interventionist role in the sector. What this means is that we must start merging schools and create infant departments. Let's say you have 5 basic schools and then you have 10 children each. You can now have an infant school with 50 and you can give the teachers who were at these basic schools the training so that they can go to NC-TVET and they can get certified, or they can get the relevant Caribbean secondary education certificate, or if they wish, they can go to the bachelor's degree, which I suspect Bethlehem is very willing to accommodate them, he added. The Early Childhood Institution is located on the property of the college and was constructed by the Culture, Health, Arts, Sports and Education Chase Fund at a cost of $40.3 million. The school will serve as a training facility for student teachers at the college who are specializing in early childhood education. Morgan noted that the 160-year-old institution has continuously contributed to national development since its inception. I think it is fitting that the Chase Fund and the government choose to put this institution here, at an institution that has stability and that has demonstrated excellence over the years, the state minister noted. Morgan also thanked the Chase Fund for funding the construction of the building and underscored the importance of early childhood education. For his part, Chief Executive Officer of the Chase Fund, Billy Heaven, says the state-of-art facility will allow for best practice in the delivery of early childhood education. Heaven added that early childhood education is too important to be left to chance. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Board of Management at the Bethlehem Moravian College, Noel G. Marcon, said that against the background of the fallout in the education gains globally, this building is a symbol of hope. Hope not just for our institution in terms of an enhancement in our physical plant, but hope in relation to what we can accomplish, he added. The new facility features 3 classrooms, bathrooms, office kitchen, dining area, and a demonstration room. 4 men arrested following St. Andrew gun seizure. 4 men were arrested in St. Andrew after the police seized an illegal gun. The police say they will be questioned in the presence of their attorneys with a view of pre-offering charges. It is reported that about 8:56 p.m., cops were conducting a stop-and-search operation at the intersection of Mollines Road and Sundown Crescent when the vehicle was stopped and the weapon found aboard. All 4 occupants of the vehicle were taken into custody. 24 new COVID-19 cases, 4 additional deaths. 4 more COVID-19 fatalities have been recorded in Jamaica, increasing the tally to 2,415. The deceased are a 60-year-old man from St. Catherine, a 73-year-old male from Kingston and St. Andrew, an 89-year-old male from St. Anne, and an 81-year-old male from St. Catherine. Meanwhile, there were 24 new infections with ages ranging from 4 to 92 years, pushing the total to 91,578. Of the new cases, 15 are women and 9 are men. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew 10, St. Mary 5, St. Anne 3, Clarendon 2, St. Catherine 1, Hanover 1, Portland 1, St. James 1, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Trelawney, and St. Thomas none. A total of 682 tests were conducted. The country's positivity rate stands at 5.1%. In the meantime, there were 37 more recoveries, increasing the total to 63,260. Some 132 persons are in hospital, with 23 being moderately ill, 12 severely ill, and 9 critically ill. 19,584 persons are in quarantine at home. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.